What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about LCX token today. The purpose of this video is to discuss where I think the price is going to be in the short term, where I think it's going to be in the midterm, and then of course where we expect it to be at the end of the bull cycle. All that and more. If that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, you guys. Let's get into it, okay? Here we are. One moment, actually, hold on. Okay, sorry. Here we are at about 23. Oh, sorry about that. Here we are at about 23.2 cents now. LCX, to me, looking at the daily RSI, appears to have found a low. I like the rounding of the bottoms here. I like the bounce off the 40. The last time you bounced off the 40, it was miraculous. Reflected in price, right? And we're doing that now. So I think that we have found our low in the price. I don't think we go lower than that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're off to the races just yet, right? I suspect that when the daily RSI gets back above the 60, instead of rejecting off of it, right? Just like it's bullish to bounce off the 40, it's not so bullish. It's kind of bearish to reject the 60. A little ping pong action never hurts anybody though. But, getting above this area, I think would suggest that LCX is ready to see new highs relative to this high here, okay? So right now, I think it's showing us that we are ready. We found our low. We're ready to move up higher than this. But when we are ready to take out this high, we will know because we are above the 60 level on our daily RSI. That's my interpretation, at least, okay? If you want that reflected into price, I would assume, come on now, man. Why did it do that? I'm going to click back just in case I did something. No, I didn't, okay. If we reflect that in the price from a relative high to a low of this range, I would suspect that a move up above the golden ratio, something that was above about 32 cents, should do it. So if we see LCX break above and not wick above, but we get a day to close above 32 cents, multiple days ideally to close above 32 cents, that means, again, not that we found the low. We've already established, I believe that's the low. Of course, we can go lower, anything can happen. I think that's the low for multiple reasons. The RSI looks like it's the low. You found support here at a previous area of resistance, even at a relative area of support before you went down, right? Previous support and resistance becomes current support. Bullish enough for me. I think that that's fine. Also, if we look at the relative low here, if it'll let me click, relative low to the relative high, you are bouncing off your 382 area, actually, which is pretty bullish. You can't see it because this other fib is overlying it, but the 382, you're finding support on that. So I just don't think you go lower than that low, okay? So if you break above 32 cents, that doesn't signal that this low is in. It more signals that we are ready to take out this high. And we're ready more or less to take out that high, I suppose, but we could move up at this pace. We could move more slowly and then pick up the pace, and that pace that I would expect that the pace does pick up when we get above 32 cents. That's the main reason I'm focusing on that price. We break above 32 cents. Now we're looking for higher targets. Normally I would call for the primary target area, the primary extension zone, the 1618 to the 1272, but I think we will go higher than that, and I'll explain why. We could absolutely find turbulence in this area. We could move up, find some turbulence along the way, and then continue moving higher. I just don't think we'll stop in the sense like we have since, over the past month and a half now. So the reason why I think we go higher than that is if you look at LCX, you look at this move here, relative to this low to high of the move, if we were to put this basically where we're at now, and actually if this were to be a bull flag, I suppose the proper way to measure it would actually be probably from this low to this high, I would suppose. You take that low there, your measure move would be all the way up to about $1, okay? So if we take this high to low, again, throwing that fib range back on there, high to low, the primary target zone, the 1618, stops well below $1. So I don't think we go there. I personally don't think that's what happens. This is the measure move. If you don't like that, you don't want to take the actual low to the actual high. If you just want to measure the main meat of this move, which from that low to high would be something like that. At the very least, from a low to a high, that still takes us above the 1618. And if you get above the golden ratio here, if you get above the top target in the primary target box there on the extensions, you likely will continue until the secondary zone, which is the 1886 to the 2618. Now, this kind of lands right in the middle of this box, albeit on the lower half, but still right in the middle of that box. if we're above the 22 or the 1886 and the 200 level, we likely wouldn't stop until the 2272. All I'm saying here is our measure move potentially could be something around $1, nice psychological level for resistance, but with these areas, it's more common to actually find resistance just below $1 or just above $1. It's less common to actually find resistance right at that level, though $1.10, 95 cents, that's basically finding resistance right at $1. All I'm trying to say is we could move up. I could see it going all the way up to about $1.12. $1.12. At the highest, $1.47. Now that gives us, I think, at a good minimum for LCX over this coming move, what I expect this move to be, which I expect will break out any day now, probably by the end of this month. By the end of this week, will probably even be above, I would think, 28 cents or so, if not sometime next week. But certainly by the end of this month, I think we'll be in the midst of this next breakout move. Going into February, if not sometime in maybe the middle of March, is when I would expect this move to come into full force. And the minimum expectation of that move would be about a 3.5x from here. The maximum expectation of that move would be about a 7.5x from here. That would be nuts, man. That would be nuts. That'd be crazy, and it's very possible. Just because it's crazy doesn't mean it can't happen. And the most likely target out of all of these would be something probably close to that 2272. I really like that $1.13 area. So let's put lines. We've already got a line at our minimum. Let's put a line at our expected area and then our given maximum. Of course, these are just ideas. We could fall short of even the lowest line, and we could exceed even the highest line. We don't know the future, but we're doing our best to kind of gauge it, aren't we? So taking these levels, again, all three of those lines are at areas that I would expect, not just from a measure move of this, but also mainly from the fib targets. Now we look at the weekly time frame and we look back, and we are at new all-time highs. Isn't that something? Isn't that great? So maybe what we can do, we can actually take the high to low of this fib range and see that, hey, our 1618, our golden ratio of this greater fib, right? If we just took a high to low of this fib range and we got the golden ratio, I believe, was at the very low here. Yeah, right here. This is your 2272 at this white line, which is just above that golden ratio there. That makes sense, man. Making sense out of that dollar range right there, okay? High to low here. Come on now. High to low here. Your 1272, hitting that upper end of that range. So hitting the upper end of that range there, barely missing that range there. There's a lot going on in that $1 to $1.50 area. I'm more in favor that we probably stop around $1 personally. That's my expectation. I just wonder, what about this fib? That 2272 is basically right there. And we're showing significance on it now. I want to say this fib is actually the best argument, I think, for the idea that we could go to the 2618, just because of the significance we're finding at the 1618. But I'll actually redact that. The fact that we're finding significance on this 1272 for support could lead to us finding resistance at this 2272, which is around $1. Around $1.12. I really like that area. But if not, maybe $1.66 could be our given maximum. I don't know. But regardless of how you look at it, regardless of where you think the numbers are, if we just start with a clean slate and you look at this for what it is, we have a double top here. It looks like a double top at the moment. We have a bull flag here. If we break down, it's all over, hell breaks loose, and you'll never hear me talk about LCX again. But I don't think that's going to happen. We break out, we go high here. I don't think we're going to stop just above this line that we've been consolidating under for months now, guys, for basically a year. I don't think we'll stop right above it. Consolidating for a year just to stop right above it doesn't make sense to me. I think we'd go higher. And if we're going to see new all-time highs, personally, the only next stop would be about $1. We're at 23 cents now. I think the writing is on the wall, as they would say. But now let's project out. Let's try and get some long-term cycle ending price predictions, and then we'll end this video, okay? Hit the like button, you guys. Subscribe on that note. That does help push the content. It helps get it out there. And I really do. The goal of this video is to push it out to as many people as possible. New viewers, old viewers. I want you all to see this because LCX, to me, is that coin that is going to outperform the majority of the market on this next move up. I think a lot of the coins that I hold, a lot of the coins that I talk about on a regular basis will outperform the average coins in the market going forward into February and March. I think there's no coincidence, right? It's not. I was thinking about this because I was talking to somebody. They're like, "Are you sure you're not just bullish on the coins that you're interested in?" It's like, no, I'm only. It's not that. I'm only interested in coins that are bullish, right? I'm not bullish. It's not that I pick a coin and then I get bullish on it and then I'm like, okay, now it's going to move up. No, how I go about it is I look at the charts, I look up the coin. Do I think it looks like it wants to go up? And then I put money into it, right? So I only invest in things that look bullish. So it makes sense that if I'm doing my research day after day after day, that the only coins I'm going to spend time talking about likely will outperform the market. It's not hard to find. It's really not hard to find. It's very easy to do if you know how to look for it. This is my third bull cycle. I'm just saying, I've got a little bit of experience. All I'm trying to say by this part here, guys, is that LCX likely will outperform the rest of the market. I want as many people to be aware of this as possible because it dawns on me that sometimes, once in a while, I talked about XCN for a while, right? And we didn't know how well it would do, but once in a while you get a coin that randomly will pump 300% in a week. I'm not saying LCX is going to do that, but I feel like I could have done a better job at getting more people involved. And there's a good bit of the people who are involved in the Discord and on the YouTube channel in the C-Zar Gets Crypto community who bought at these lower prices. There definitely are, but I'd like to, ideally, before this thing rips to new all-time highs and sees an immaculate move, something of the nature of this, but at a faster pace, I would certainly like to see people get in while they still can, while it's at a good area, right? As nice as it is to have people buying here, and I still believe that it's going to go higher and onto new all-time highs, and even at this price, I think XCN can do phenomenal prices. LCX, before we're at the pump, I'd like to get the message out there so that it's not just better received, but also more helpful to people who might need it. I want to be clear with one last message before I end the video. None of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not me telling you to sell another coin to buy LCX. I bought LCX recently. I did not sell other coins to buy LCX. I had a little bit of money on the side. It's not like the most money in the world, but it was a little bit of money on the side, and I put it into LCX. I had LCX that I was holding before, right? I had some tokens I've been holding before, and I just added to that stack. Okay, so I don't think, and not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I don't think it's necessarily wise to be swapping coins around at this point. I think you need to figure out what you want to invest in. I think you need to figure out why you want to invest in it, have some conviction. That way you don't flip flop like a paper in the wind. If you're feeling a pull to buy XCN right now because it's the latest thing that you've heard and it might do a 5x in the next month and that sounds exciting, so I want to get in, do some research first. Make sure it's the right choice for you. Make sure that it's something that you can get behind, something that you can understand, something that you can quote unquote support financially, because that will give you conviction. That will allow you to hold. If LCX, you're expecting it to outperform the average coin, and the average coin pumps before LCX. LCX is left in the dust a little bit, and the average coin pumps 50% or more in a week from now, and LCX is still at the same price, and you bought because you thought LCX would outperform. You might have some questions. You might FOMO. You might panic and sell LCX, the bad choice, for the coins that pumped. But then the next week, LCX does a 4x. Or a 5x, or it does exactly what you expected it to do, and that's the whole essence of what I'm trying to say here is try not to play this game. Try not to play this game of trying to catch the one that's going to pump the most. That's kind of the purpose of this video, right? Is that you're trying to get into something ideally that's going to outperform the rest of the coins coming forward on this next move, and that's the whole purpose of this video. I want to give you guys a nugget, right? Not financial advice, not financial advisor, but this is my opinion. This is my opinion based on what we see in the charts. It makes the most sense to me. I hope it makes sense to you too, but nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. But my expectations are that LCX outperforms the market. Be patient with it. Do not get bored with it. Do not sell other coins for it, because likely the coin you sell to buy LCX will be the coin that outperforms LCX even, right? That's just how it is all the time. So I don't really know if I have anything else to say, guys. This video is joining on at this point. So hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I appreciate you all very, very much for being here. I do believe LCX has a very bright future. Oh, that's what we were going to do. I'm so sorry, guys. We're going to talk about all-time highs. I got distracted. On some stuff. Oh, my goodness. There are a lot of people who are like, what the hell, man? We're about to talk about all-time highs. We're at, let's see, LCX here. I got off on a tangent, bro. I'm going to have to watch this video back and see where I went off, because I'm normally good at I go off, I get distracted, but I'm normally good at bringing it back. I was ready to end the video there. 218 million. Let's call it 220. 220 million. Now, a coin like this, LCX, has been around for multiple cycles. This is its second bull cycle. I'm not saying it has to see this, but it could see a $100 billion market cap. It could, it's possible, it very well could. I doubt it does, but it could see a $100 billion market cap. It is an exchange token. If the exchange gets really big, it absolutely could. But it's at 218 million now. A 10x, let's just call it 220, right? 10x would be 2.2 billion. 100x would be 22 billion. $22 billion is a very attainable market cap, I think, for a coin like this. So is LCX token, is it 100xable? I think yes. I think it absolutely is 100xable, and a 100x would take you all the way up to this 2272 here at about $25. I think it's interesting that right now, after this whole video, hasn't the 2272 come up a lot in regards to these areas down here that we're expecting for this next move relative to all these like smaller fibs, right? This is a much larger fib, cycle ending, cycle beginning fib stuff, right? But isn't it crazy how the potential cycle end, if it were to be 100x from here, which is doable, it could be at the 2272. That's a completely doable target. $25 is a very doable, attainable minimum for LCX by the end of the cycle. It's completely possible. It only stops at 360. That would underperform the rest of the market, grossly underperform the rest of the market. I don't see that happening, but it's possible. Let's give it as a minimum. 365, a 15x, maybe. I think the true minimum, because that to me just seems pessimistically awful. I don't think that makes any sense to me at all for this token. I would think $8 or $11 would be a better true minimum. And at that rate, that's about a 33x, let's call it a 34x to about a 46, 47x, something in that range. That's not a bad minimum. 30 to 50x essentially. That's not a bad minimum at all. And then beyond that, you've got the $25 level, which is 100x, and that's not even the maximum, you guys, right? 22 billion is a nice market cap. It's a good goal to have, but it's not the cream of the crop, right? It doesn't have to stop there. A coin like this could see more than that, right? What's crazy is that would be a 300x, and a 300x would still be doable for a coin like this. A 300x would give it about a 66, almost a $70 billion market cap. And that is high. It's very high, but it's attainable. It's something that's very attainable, especially for a coin like this. I think it is. Highs here, I don't know. Could you go all the way up? Now, when we start getting above this, I think it's getting a little bit out of control. I think LCX could reach for $100 this cycle. I don't know if it gets there, okay? But certainly, I personally, after this video, I would expect $71 to $25, somewhere in that range. And if it were, more likely it wouldn't be in the range. It would either be very close to 25 or very close to 71. It's like one or the other. Anything's possible. You don't have to hit these lines. You can find resistance wherever you want. But that's just how I read it, okay? And of course, we will refine this. We'll know better what to think of it and how to estimate going forward. LCX, market cap is here. Fully diluted valuation is this. Circulating supply is this. Total supply is that. We're fine. Everything's good, man. I got nothing else for you guys. If you liked the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I was unaware my face was gone, but that's okay. Take care. Bye-bye.